podcast with your host Bendy.
It's Terry.
Tony couldn't be with us on today, so the show must go on. Today we're gonna talk about being in a dark place, and it's a very touchy topic.
So,
you ever had to deal with anything like that?
Describe dark place. Like, what exactly is dark place?
I say being in a dark place. It's that place in my, like, for me to describe it, it's like being happy. Happiness is being like all around you, but you don't find yourself being happy. Like there's something in you that's just holding you back, and it's mentally, emotionally, it could be physically. It's just something about it's just holding you back.
So it's like being in a state of depression.
Yeah, a state of depression, anything like that.
Oh, yeah, I've been depressed numerous times. Yeah. Just a human feeling, but no escaping it.
So, how would you describe those feelings?
Oh man, being in depression or within a dark place. It always depends on the situation. So, of course, if someone loses their job, it might be different from somebody losing a parent.
Yeah.
It's just not, it does not equate to the same type of pain.
Right.
So I guess it depends on the situation at the end of the day.
It really do. And it's actually becoming a very big thing everywhere. I can't say America, but anywhere around you, because at this point, you don't know who's depressed, who's going through anything. And even when it hits you, some people just don't know how to handle it. Some people are stronger than the others, and it's just a big difference. You get what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, it is different. So, like I said, depending on the situation, a lot of people result to suicide.
Yeah.
Or suicidal attempts. So I think it's kind of strange that men are 3 times more than likely to commit suicide than our female counterpart. Why do you think so?
Well, I think the reason why men would be more likely to commit suicide is it's a big thing weight on your shoulders, being the man, because you are known to be the person to take a head of the household. You're the person who has to be strong. You're really not supposed to show your feelings. That's just us growing up. Men don't really show their feelings. They're supposed to take everything. And when you lose something like a job and people are looking at you like you're weak now, it really changes how a man thinks in that. Now he feels weak. Now he feels like, well, I can't lead my head of my household anymore. I can't.
That, like a traditional role, or is that social media? Because a lot of guys don't lead the household.
Yeah, and that too. That's social media too, because, well, I mean, social media will flat out tell you that you are weak, and that's a shame.
They add on to
it. They just make it way, way worse.
So, is it necessary to say that men are actually a lot weaker than women?
I can't say men are weaker than
mentally,
women, but mentally, it all depends on that person, really, because I've seen a lot of strong women who's been through terrible, terrible things, and you'd be like, there's some people who literally, they lost their family member, and they end up committing suicide because they can't handle just losing that one person, because that was the world to them. And I've seen women who literally been raped, beaten, lost family members, lost everything, have a child, they're all alone, and they're still pushing for it and being strong. Even though mentally they're probably hurting, but they're still pushing forward. So, but I've seen men do the same thing. So there's no difference between it.
So you ever had these thoughts before?
I've never had the thoughts of suicide. That's never crossed my mind, but I have been in a dark place many times. Yes, I'm a happy type of person. You will always see me at work smiling, telling jokes, talking noise. old man right here. But that doesn't always mean that inside that I'm happy. Cause sometimes yeah, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's kind of difficult
Yeah,
to tell if you like you said you always happy. So
yeah,
it's honestly quite difficult to tell somebody going through something if forever putting on a smile or a smirk or just open to anything. They hide their pain very well.
right. And that's what's hard, especially in these times that you really have to check on. This could go with anybody. You really do have to check on your people. Um, a simple good morning, hello, could really have a big impact on somebody's life, and you don't even realize it because you never know what they're going through. Uh, it's I don't even know how to describe it anymore.
You want to know also what I found interesting that suicide is the third leading cause of death for teenagers ages 10 to 14, and I honestly think social media has a
Oh,
huge role to play in
that's
that.
a big impact right there. You know, if you ain't got the right clothes, bullying, bullying is one big thing. Um, kid growing up and he just wants to fit in, can't fit in. People picking on him, talking noise, talking about the clothes he's wearing, making fun for simple things.
Yeah, technology just made it easier to
Yeah,
bully someone.
and what's the easiest way to get rid of this? Because the parents ain't really helping. And let's be real here. You could be great parents. You really can. You could try to talk to your kid. Um, but there's something about being y'all all been there. You do not tell your parents everything. You do not like sharing all your feelings with your parents because it's a different type of weird. You'll talk to your friends about it, and sometimes you don't even like talking to them about that type of things. And so nobody can really blame parents for that. You can and you can't. Honestly, yes, you should be watching after your kids, seeing whether they learn your kid. Notice the little things that they pick. You're picking up on little things, like my mom, for instance. My mom always commenting if I take a picture and I'm not smiling in that picture. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you feeling type of way?" I could be happy, completely fine, but I posted an Instagram picture yesterday with me going to a Patriots game. I'm excited. I just seen my boy Tom Brady, but I wasn't smiling in my picture, and my mom was like, "I'm picking up that you're not okay," type thing. I was okay, but it's those little things that you should notice within other people, and that's something that kids and parents they gotta work. That's really something that they gotta work on. But kids are not gonna tell you that they're miserable or depressed. They're gonna find easy ways to get out of that depression, and usually suicide, drugs, hanging out with the wrong crowds. Those are all different types of way that they deal with that type of depression.
Yeah, but in some cases, you do have kids who do come out
Yeah,
and speak their mind to their parents. Like, for instance, technology being the way it is today, and you got social media, you got all the videos, and you literally got videos of kids telling their parents their sexual preferences, and
mm-hmm.
right there on the spot, live videos, YouTube, anything you name, parents just automatically start bashing, just right off the top.
Because it's something
So
that they usually probably went through, and it's that's on the parents right there for not making it any better. Because you're supposed to be their role model, you're supposed to be leading the example, and you bashing is just you're putting them deeper and deeper into that dark place, mentally and emotionally. And I think one of the hardest things about it is figuring out how to get out of that dark place. Like, what are some things that you did when you realized that you was in that
music,
music?
yeah, I love me some music. Laughter. I like to think of myself as a comedian.
No, not at all.
I can put a smile on plenty of people's faces. So I like to think of myself as a comedian. So we got music, laughter. I know a lot of people turn towards religion, and that's not my preference of doing when I'm in a place like that.
Hmm.
So music and laughter is probably my biggest one.
I think one of the biggest things that helped me out, because when I was in Hawaii, considered one of the happiest places, on earth. But I actually had reached that point. I'm not gonna get all into detail with it, but the one of the big things that helped me out is running and just finding ways to like just release all that built up, picked up energy.
I ain't
And
talking about working
running,
out.
hmm?
Working out.
Yeah, working out, running, listening to music, and it's not always about running and building up energy. You don't have to always do that, but it could just be simple things because turning off your social media. Social media to me is a big thing because when you're in that depression stage, I feel like you need to work on yourself and getting rid of your social media and being able to just work on yourself, listening, reading, write down things that you need to work on because those little things actually help build up yourself.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't realize the role that social media plays with your depression. So during my time in living overseas in Japan, you had the what's that? I think it's the Crawford case. The young man in I think it was in Ohio, picked up the gun in Walmart.
Hmm.
Cop shot him on sight. Tamir Rice. You just had all these cases that depressed the hell out of me.
Hmm.
It's like y'all out here seriously killing unarmed people. I mean, I'm in one country where my skin color is praised at, and then when I'm back home in America, it's like, damn, I catch a bullet every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so social media played a big role. So now you take Facebook for instance. You'll come across a video, and it say on the bottom of it say uncover the photo, and it becomes a very graphic video.
Hmm.
It's reality on social media right now. Someone's getting murdered or tortured or anything like that. That really plays a part in your depression. Social media. It's kind of difficult to run from nowadays. Also, so you got the cell phones. You got Wi-Fi in your vehicles now. It's
Hmm.
kind of difficult to run from social media.
And usually, social media is that's really our lives now. We wake up, we're looking at social media, we're looking at the opinions of other people, we're looking at the lives, and it can depress you just looking at how other people are living their lives, and they're living all lavish, and they're young, they're 15 years old, and they're making a bigger paycheck than you are,
Yeah,
and
that's usually you got these billionaires that CEOs of these companies, and you look up, they cut your health care,
mm-hmm.
cut your health care to save money for them, which is amazing. So it's a cruel world out here, honestly. Depression is everywhere.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, and it's really honestly, it's not gonna go anywhere. Depression is always gonna be there, and I've even known this one person that they say that in order for them to be happy, they have to make other people happy, and that was weird to me. Like,
But it helps though.
yeah, it
I find
helps,
myself doing the same thing sometimes too.
but that's a weird because if you can't help somebody, you put yourself at a lower mentality.
Sometimes it feels good putting a smile on somebody else's face.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just how I look at it.
Just the fact that knowing that you can help somebody.
Yeah, it really helps. It's just like so being within the military, suicide is high right now in the military,
Hmm.
which is I'm gonna have to say it's quite crazy. At the same time, the military acting like that, they just don't know why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I give you an example. Leadership is a reason why. Um, long hours is another reason why.
Hmm.
And when you have young sailors, I used to be that young sailor when I first got in. I think I done held about 4 or 5 jobs. couple of retail jobs, grocery stores, fast food chains. When I first got in, it was just so difficult for me, honestly, because I was stationed on the Bush CVN 77. So here I am stationed on the Bush. You know, I'm gonna put you on blast. You know, I'm not gonna drop any names, but yeah, the leadership was not great whatsoever. It was like they pitted the shifts against each other, on top of the extra ridiculous hours you had to work. You was being blamed for things you could not control. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you was being forced within the situation, and what they say went because they outranked you. You know, don't get me wrong. It's plenty of avenues you can take to get around that. But when you a new sailor or a new soldier within any type of military within America, you don't have all this knowledge handed to you. You have to seek that knowledge. So I can completely understand why suicide rate is high within the military, and also you got to look at pay. I think it's ridiculous for a E3 and below and make the type of money they make. I understand, you know, you might be staying in a barracks or a ship. E3 and below, most of their money going towards their cell phones. Yeah. Like your money going towards your cell phone at the end of the day.
And that car that you got 36 APR on.
So you got ridiculous hours, leadership, and pay. So I think that's just my 3 reasons why I believe that suicide rates in the military is so high.
I completely agree with you on that, because
not on top of the people who are actually out there on the front line and things they've seen. So
yeah, because I've seen some wild stuff that people of PTSD is definitely a real thing. But I've dealt with that too. On my last command, we had a guy, great dude, happy all the time. I'm still friends with him now today. You would have never expected anything bad coming out of it. And then one day, I noticed that he was no longer on the ship. Found out that he took a bunch of pills, tried to kill himself. And pretty soon, I'm not gonna go straight for him and like, yo, what happened to you? Because I kind of figured, I kind of let it ease on. And after I talked to him, he dealt with that kind of situation where people was like telling him that he was nothing. They wasn't helping him out when he asked for help. And when he went outside, look for outside help, it came, and it ended up coming back to the people that he worked with, and they yelled at him for that.
Yeah, that's that bad leadership I was speaking about.
Right.
So it's kind of crazy how your job can put you in a situation. This is not only the military. It's any job.
And it could be simple things too. Like to me personally, something like that happened to me, I'll be mad. But I would never bring myself to that thought of like suicide like he did. And that just shows how, I'm not saying that he was weak-minded or anything, but that just shows how sensitive and how, dang, I can't even figure out the word for it.
You know, Craig, I used to believe that people who commit suicide was weak until I had that thought within my head. So it pops up in your head sporadically, like it's just there, and it's there, and I wouldn't say that it's easy, because evidently I'm still alive. So it's there, and for some it's easy. So I can't necessarily say that someone is, let's just say, more sensitive or any other words you want to name. Just for me, I guess you could say I looked at the bright side at the end of the day. So when I was going through my situation, you know, don't take what I did. I admit to having the suicidal thoughts on bad leadership. You know, I came to work one day willing to fuck somebody up. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, all that, I outrank you and you follow my instructions. It took for me to stand up and like, man, you must don't know I really beat your ass right now. Like, if you cast the chevrons and the rank to the side at the end of the day, if the military was to kick me out, my mom raised me well enough to know that it was not the end. I could still hustle and go out there and perform probably even better. So that's the way that I dealt with it. Because it got to the point, it was like, like, man, I could drive off this bridge right now, and I'm not a strong swimmer, and I can go down, I ain't got no worry. And, it's like, what, nah. I came in one day, like I said, man, anybody get out their ass whooped that day, and somebody almost did. So I guess that was like my way and like my relief of that reality. But ever since then, I had this thing about me. Okay, from boot camp all the way to going, being stationed on my first ship. In boot camp they teach you military bearing, military bearing, military bearing. And when you get to the fleet, they ain't got no goddamn military bearing. So I'm walking around with this military bearing, and I look at my E4, E5, E6, E7, 8, 9 officers. Everybody do things that show they have a lack of military bearing. So when I view this, it's like, okay, maybe that route is not for me. I need to show my true color, my real identity. Like, hey, keep fucking around, I'm about to put hands on you. So I guess it worked out for me perfectly. When my back was against the wall, I came out.
So how do you feel?
Swinging.
How do you feel about those people who say that people who commit suicide are selfish?
I think you're selfish for saying that. Honestly, like I get where you're coming from. You can leave a loved one behind. You can put somebody. It's probably like greater pain than probably what you experienced. You commit suicide, and if this individual loves you just that much, that person might end up committing suicide. But that's very selfish of an individual to say. You don't know what that person was thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't like everybody said, walk in my shoes for a day. That's impossible.
Because I heard this story this man had told me one day, and he said that there was this little girl who was walking in the road, and she almost got hit by a car, but she didn't. But the next day, it I don't know, it freaked her out or something like that, and she was dealing with a lot of stuff, and she took signs that it was just really time for her to go, because in her past, a lot of things that just kept happening to her. She was getting depressed, and she just felt that was like one of the signs that, okay, maybe it was time for me to go. And she was going to kill herself. And a doctor ended up saving her life, right? So the doctor saved her life, and talked to her, became actual friends with her. But she grew up. She had a kid of her own. That kid ended up getting hurt. And I forgot. I'm messing up the story already. I'm messing up the story. That kid ended up getting hurt. And I guess it was like the doctor's son or something like that ended up saving them. So anyways, the key that I was trying to get to, because I didn't mess that story completely up, so you can kind of ignore what I was saying. It was kind of the key that I was getting at is there's also, like, you killing yourself can stop a whole chain of something that's going on. Like
something good.
Yeah, something good. So me killing myself today could stop something good that's good happen in the future, because you never know what the future holds for you. A person in a dark place, that next day could be their time for their breakthrough, but they will never find out because they never pushed forward. They never kept trying.
You ever look at that death as being their breakthrough?
That death being the breakthrough.
Yeah.
I
So when
never
you
look
in
at. I really never look at death being a breakthrough.
when you in
I
a
can
lot of
understand the reason why a person could be in their dark place, the reason why they would want to kill themselves. But like I said, it's because of the way I think. I believe in pushing forward, and there's always a rainbow at the end of the, or the sun at the end of the tunnel. I don't even know how to say the phrase, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, that.
yeah, that
So there we go. So I always believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I believe, yes, you could be going through so much because, like I said, I've seen so many people go through some really, really gruesome, bad things, and right now they can't be any happier because they have the life they want. They have the child. They have a child. They have a family. Everything is just going great for them now. But you talk to them and they talk about their past and you be wondering how did they make it this far, and that's the type of thing that inspires me to keep pushing
a
forward.
lot of those people have support systems.
They do. A lot of people do have support systems, and that's one big thing about learning other people and watching out for other people and asking them how they doing and stuff. But there are some people who are really alone, who don't have support systems, and if they do, they're not trying to connect with them because they might not even trust them. But there are people who really are fighting on their own.
Can you actually tell somebody actually having suicidal thoughts?
You cannot tell when somebody has a suicidal thought because the person next to you is the person right now. You could be thinking about suicide right now, and I would never know it because from me talking to you, you either seem like a regular old happy person, and even if you were depressed, and I knew you were depressed, that doesn't mean that you're thinking about suicide.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Peace Road.
Yeah, you could be thinking about anything. So it doesn't matter if you're happy, sad, mad, the richest person in the world, the poorest person in the world. The poorest person in the world could be more happy than the richest man in the world. You never know anything about the person next to you. That's why you all just have to look out for each other no matter what. Talk to each other, ask how each other is doing. Just simple gestures, simple things could really end up saving someone's life and you might not even know it. That happened to me when I was in high school. I became friends with a guy who said that he was going to end up killing himself if he didn't graduate.
So how do you like? I know it's a lot of people use the words like I can just die right now.
Yeah.
You can be working right now, so like I could just die right now. You know what? I could just kill myself. I'm just so tired of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They use this as a comic relief.
Yeah, very loosely termed. Some of them are being serious though, and some of them aren't. Because that's one thing that I know we joke around in the Navy a lot. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna go kill myself. Forget this. I'm gonna go kill myself. Really, yeah, you could laugh about it, but sometimes they being serious. But because some people don't know how to express the fact that they are feeling that type of way.
So what do you lean to? Like I know it's a lot. Like I said, a lot of people lean towards their religious belief.
Me, I lean towards religious belief, and I lean towards of just inspirations of other people. Uh, the belief of also if you kill yourself, this is just how I believe. You die, you kill yourself, you go to hell type thing. That's just how I learned about it. But even if that wasn't the case, I still don't find peace in death because you don't know what is after death. You really don't. So I find peace in knowing that soon it will get better. But that's just me.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do turn towards their religious belief when they are in a state of depression. Can them doing that, like you turning, well, of course not just you, done stated already. This is me. I believe when you constantly turn towards your religious belief, this is my opinion. You're not exactly facing that problem heads on,
Mm-hmm.
or hands on or head on whatsoever. So a lot of people be like, I'm leaving in God's hand. Yet you still waking up with the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at with that?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if you cannot address the situation hands on and, you're on your knees praying constantly, just poof. It can happen. It may not happen.
Mm-hmm.
Your prayers might get answered. If it does, that's great. But for somebody to do that, turn towards a religious belief instead, facing that problem head on, I can't think of a situation I have ever read or heard that has happened. You know what I'm saying? Just praying on it, and that problem just gone. You know what I'm saying? So you ever heard of anything like that?
Yes.
So
my brother, for instance, my brother had cancer, brain cancer.
Mm-hmm.
He was not supposed to be here. Doctors even said that he was not supposed to be here. My mom prayed on this man night and day. And of course, it's not going to happen. Like the saying is, it might not happen when they want it, but it's always right on time. My mom prayed night and day, over and over and over again. One day, the doctor literally came in and said, "I don't see the cancer anymore." Vanished.
So was he taking treatments or?
Yeah, he was taking his treatments, but the way that it disappeared, they said they've never seen it like that before. Because it literally just vanished. Just like that. So that type of thing right there that's a great example for me of proof that something did happen. Okay, you prayed and it can happen. Now, like I said again, it may not happen when you want it, but it's there on time. Because it's never, nothing's ever gonna come perfect on an instant, just like that. Especially if you only pray when you want something.
Yeah.
You see what I mean with that? But we probably about to. You got some more?
Yeah. So, with the thoughts.
Yeah.
Of course, we done established that you can take the route of religious belief, tackling the problem heads on, music, dropping social media. Like, is there actually any escape from depression?
Is there an escape from depression? Yes. Will it come back? Also, yes. Because depression is something that's going to come in and out, in and out, in and out. You can't say there's a complete stop to depression because our feelings are constant. And that's just how it is. As we're human beings, that's how it's going to happen. It's how you handle the depression is what's going to change it all. So, yes, if that answers your question. Is that anybody else got some questions?
No, that worked out well. Cause depression, it's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I do see a lot of people get depressed over the most, simplest things. Like it just will not bother me. For example, breaking a cell phone, or not being able to pay a bill, which it can be dramatic not being able to pay a bill.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that's just not. If I can't pay my bills, I wouldn't stress that because I ain't got the damn money anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that I can I can't freak out and stress over about. Yeah. So when it comes to depression, I guess it's just the individual.
Yeah.
I do think like a lot of people just overly stressed about the smallest things imaginable.
Well, it also depends on how they grew up too, because that's just like the people who make straight A's and they make 1B and they have the greatest freak out ever. I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world, but to them, that was the world to them, and they would get depressed over that 1B. That was, to me, like I said, like you said, it depends on the person and what their stresses are. But like that's just stupid to me. But then again, it ain't stupid because I'm not the one making all A's. I make A's and B's. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel. So it's more so the I might say the what is it, the pressure of society, the pressure of the people within your circle.
What do you mean by that?
As far as you can only allow yourself to be in a state of depression based off your environment. So, like I just said, like me not being able to pay my bill because I don't have the money would never stress me. Sooner or later, I have to get the money. But if I was to come to you, you're in my circle, like, man, I can't pay my bill. And next thing you know, you telling everybody, you know what I'm saying? That opens up a different can of depression and hate and self-hate. Now you feel
because you look like a weak individual.
So I guess you could say society and I guess the circle that you have around you.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could have the greatest circle in the world. Like I said, you could be, your whole circle around you could be great. Your parents could be great. Your friends could be amazing, but you still don't feel right within yourself. And that's when you have to build on yourself. You have to learn yourself.
Or seek help.
Yeah, seek help.
That right there could possibly be a mental problem.
And that's one big thing, too. Everybody's not a therapist. And some people get happy just from listening to others. Some people like to vent. Venting simply can help tremendously. But some people really do need to go seek actual professional mental help. And you can't just rely off of what your friends say. Because some people, they'll end up just really saying the wrong things.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
just
hurt you flat out. Especially for a lot of people who have anxiety attacks.
Mm-hmm.
That still amazes me to this day. That somebody can still it can be as cool as ever, and you tell them one thing, and they go into an anxiety attack.
That's but that seems like all we got today, huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, go ahead, you got it.
You got it.
I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to the Independent Hustle Podcast. If you having any type of suicidal thoughts or you're in a state of depression, you reach us at the Independent Hustle Podcast at gmail.com.
You can even if you just want to vent, talk about your day, talk about your cat and what it did today, just anything. Because, talking makes you feel better. Letting somebody be around that you know is listening can make you feel better.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So make sure you all check us out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And our Facebook group, the Independent Hustle Podcast.
Yeah, show the love.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in.